Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. We're back in John 15. I'm not really going to read one particular verse here. I'm just going to say that when you count between verses 1 and 11 of chapter 15, Jesus says the word abide 10 times. Abide in me, abide in me, abide in me. If you abide in me, if you'll abide in me, abide in me, abide in me, abide in me. He says it over and over and over again. Jesus stresses this idea that his vision of his relationship with you was never to be one of visitation, but one of habitation. And I think that's the point. I think Jesus understands that our sinful default in our hearts wants to visit with Jesus when it's convenient for us, but not live with Jesus and live in Jesus regardless of what's going on in our lives. I don't know about you, but I'm guilty of only going to Jesus when I need him, even though I need him all the time. I'm guilty of only coming to Jesus when everything else I've tried has fallen apart. And Jesus is saying there's a better way for you guys. There's a better way for you, and that's for you to live your life with me. To realize that nothing in the world means you're good. And to not relegate your relationship to Jesus with this thing of you resting in him to get your strength back up, to go back to what was making you sick and tired, but to truly live with him. Jesus says it 10 times, abide in me. And sometimes I'm like, goodness gracious, Lord, why you got to say it 10 times? What's wrong with Peter, James, and John and them? And I think the Spirit says something to the effect of, you know what? God was willing to say it 10 times because our hearts forget it 10 times. That there's an invitation for us to live with the Lord, not to just visit the Lord. Now listen, if Jesus says something one time, listen to it. If Jesus says something 2 times, underline it. If Jesus says something 3 times, circle it. But church, if Jesus says something 10 times, I think we ought to rip the page out the Bible and paste it to our forehead. It's something that we really need to hold on to, that our Savior gives us this invitation to truly live our life with him today. Man, you got calls to make for the job. You got something to work on for the family. You got something you're planning with your spouse today. You got something you're fleshing out with your kids, but do it with Jesus. Not just when you need him, but do it with him today. Live with him, abide in him today. And that's hope for today. See you next time.